we're talking about the best time of day. Is there a right time for caffeine? One of the biggest questions of all. How many coffee runs do you make in a day? We live in a coffee culture. I know you all love this stuff. And I've been the first to tell you that coffee can be healthy. But if you have a secret caffeine sensitivity, that might be causing symptoms that you never, ever imagined. Today, a test you can take right now to know if caffeine may be causing your anxiety, your weight gain, even potentially putting you at risk for heart problems. Dr. Jane Caudle is here.
Hi.
Wealth of knowledge as always. People have been drinking coffee forever. Why is this suddenly a concern for you and other physicians?
Well, we have been drinking coffee forever, and it used to be that we would only have coffee in the morning. But now it's almost like a cultural phenomenon. It's a way of life that we're drinking coffee almost all day long. You're at work and you want a quick break, so you take a Starbucks run, and we're even Instagramming pictures of our coffee mugs and coffee cups and things like that. And a lot of people don't realize that caffeine is one of the biggest drugs that we're addicted to out there. You know, we're only supposed to have about 400 milligrams of caffeine a day or less, and that's about 4 cups of coffee, but we have a lot more than that, let me tell you. And you know, I think the other thing we don't always realize is that caffeine can be in so many other things that we're either eating or drinking, so we just have to be very mindful.
So what are the kinds of problems that you're seeing that we have no idea could be linked to caffeine?
So, you know, I've had patients complain of a number of different symptoms, things like insomnia, anxiety, even headaches, but some people have complained of weight gain. Now, some people don't have any symptoms at all, or they don't think they do when it comes to caffeine. But, you know, we do think that some of this and how you react may be in your genes, interestingly enough. Now, this was really interesting to me, actually. And you can actually talk to your doctor about testing and things of that nature. I know we're going to talk about genes and stuff a little bit later. I know.
I actually did it.
So it's going to be kind of exciting. We're going to talk about that in a bit. But I think at least one of the things we can do today and right now is for everyone out there to take this quiz that we're going to go through and figure out your caffeine sensitivity. That's how sensitive you might be to caffeine's effects.
Simple idea. How common is it for someone to have one of these caffeine-related problems and not know it?
I think it's very common. I think most people probably have some effects from caffeine, regardless of whether they know it or not. 1 cup of coffee for some people might literally, you know, send them through the roof. But for some other person, 12 cups of coffee may not do anything. The point is it's really individualized. There's no 2 people that are created the same with this regard.
So I have an admission to my beautiful audience. You're all part of a little social experiment today. I wanted to see how much you all love coffee. Now, you may have noticed that beautiful coffee bar we had backstage. You remember that? Yes. You probably thought, how kind it is of Dr. Oz. Well, not every audience gets that. I wanted to see how much you love your coffee, literally just how much. And it was, see that over there? These are all you guys going there, refilling more and more and more. Who was thrilled to get an extra boost this morning? You all happy to get that? It's fun to have it, right? So I'm going to just ask some simple questions here. I want to understand what coffee means to you. Why don't you go first? I noticed you hanging out by the coffee bar.
Oh, I love my coffee.
What does it do for you to have that coffee?
It gives me an instant energy boost. I feel like I'm awake and I can focus and I don't feel like I'm sleeping anymore.
Is it a relaxing break for you?
Well, I mostly drink coffee when I'm waking up to go to class. Because I'm in college, so it's really hard for me to wake up at 8 a.m. to go to class, so that definitely helps me out and gets me out of bed.
Well, do you relax to it at all? Or is it social for you? Do you hang with your friends and drink coffee?
Yeah, I meet my friends. There's a Starbucks in our library, so we usually go there to study.
Just something. Yeah. Have you ever wondered if there might be a side effect of coffee you never knew was out there? Some symptom that you've got, could be simple like twitching of your eyes and not really thought maybe it was caffeine?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I always twitch after I drink coffee.
You do?
Yeah.
I'm not even going to talk about that today, but those are the kind of things I'm talking about. Thank you. So we have a test to find out, because this isn't just about people who drink a lot of coffee. If you have a coffee sensitivity, then even 1 cup, just 1 cup can throw you off. So answer the questions I'm about to ask based on how you feel in the couple hours after consuming coffee. First question, do you pee more than you think is normal? Yes or no? Y'all keep track, right? It's just a bunch of yes/no questions mostly, right? Yes or no. Dr. Caudle, next question.
Yes. Okay. Do you feel like your heart is pounding in your chest, either sometimes or often, or never?
Next, do you feel anxious in the hours after you drink coffee? A is often, B is never. Again, just keep track, A or B, simple questions.
Okay, next question is, do you have trouble sleeping? A is at least 4 to 7 nights a week, and B is rarely or never.
And the last question, have you experienced unexplained weight gain that you just can't shake? A, yes, B, no. So in the audience, who here said yes to at least 2 of those questions? Oh my goodness. That was more than half the
it's
audience.
more than half, I think.
All right, up next, what do your test results mean and what can you do about it? And I actually had a gene tested to see how much caffeine could affect me. And I am sharing my results because I was shocked. Stay with us. We're back with a simple test to determine if a caffeine sensitivity may be the secret reason behind your anxiety and weight gain. Now, before the break, we asked the audience a series of questions to consider in the hours after consuming caffeine. We asked, do you pee a lot? Right? Pretty common question. Do you sense that your heart is pounding? Do you have trouble sleeping? Right? How about weight gain, especially when it's unexplained? Or do you get anxious? Right? Now, more than half my audience members said yes to at least 2 of these. Now, for those of you who did, the question is caffeine a part of your daily life, and is it causing you a sensitivity? Dr. Jen Caudle is back. So why are these symptoms so important for us to take note of?
Well, you know, and there's a lot of symptoms there, which is really interesting. Caffeine really affects almost every aspect of the body. From the GI tract, it also can cause us to urinate more because it acts like a diuretic, palpitations, anxiety, and even weight gain, you mentioned. And one of the things we know is that caffeine can increase the release of cortisol, which of course has been associated with abdominal obesity. And that's led some people to maybe make some connection between caffeine and weight gain. But then we also know that caffeine's a stimulant and can increase the metabolism. So you're probably saying, well, so which one is it? Truth of the matter is, there's a lot of different studies, a lot of different things, but some people have reported weight gain, some weight loss, a lot of options here.
See, my thought on caffeine is that it helps you lose weight. That's my personal belief, and I've seen it in a lot of people. However, we don't just have caffeine, right?
That's
it
true.
comes with the cream and the sugar and the habit, like the bagel that goes along with it.
Yes.
So I think that's part of the challenge.
I think that's a really good point. And there's a lot of fat and sugar that we're adding oftentimes with the creamer. I think that's a great point.
But these are significant, but I want you to pay attention to one other problem that I didn't ask you about.
Yes.
And it's a serious issue. It's high blood pressure.
Yeah.
Because it turns out that drinking a lot of caffeine in some people can create high blood pressure. How common is that?
This, I think, is really interesting. We think about half the population has a gene that when they drink coffee, it puts them at higher risk for high blood pressure. Now, they may not have any other symptoms but this. And so that's why we say, again, I think it's fascinating. If you've got high blood pressure and you drink a lot of caffeine, now maybe it might be reasonable to cut back on the caffeine to see if your blood pressure is affected or any other symptoms. It might be a reasonable thing to do.
1/3 of us have blood pressure issues, so it's a lot of folks who should be paying attention to this. I was wondering, because in my family we do have some high blood pressure, whether caffeine puts me at increased risk. I don't drink much coffee. That's because as a surgeon, I always felt that was a problem because you have to go to the bathroom when you drink coffee and hard to do when you're scrubbed in the operating room. It's bad etiquette to leave the patient, so most of us actually don't ever drink coffee. Plus it makes your hands shake. Who wants that when you're...
Not a good thing.
No. But here are my results, and now I think I understand why I didn't want to drink the coffee. I'm very sensitive to it. I am at elevated risk of having high blood pressure if I drink coffee. 200 milligrams a day is my limit. That's 2 cups for most people, guys, depending on how you brew it. And it always did make me jittery, so now I have a reason to understand. But at least I paid attention to the symptoms when I was younger. Many of you don't even connect the dots. Connect the dots.
Right.
And these are the kinds of tests we can do right now pretty regularly. For people who find out that they have a caffeine sensitivity, you've got some tips. Some ways of
cutting back,
easy things.
And it doesn't have to be painful. I think a lot of people, because caffeine is addictive and we get worried and we're used to our Starbucks break and things like that. Okay, first suggestion is this idea, and actually the time of day, we should talk about that because we think that maybe drinking coffee between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. might be a better time to drink coffee if you're going to do it because of cortisol levels and how they balance out. But maybe try...
So late in the morning, between 10 a.m. and noon.
Right, to sort of offset cortisol level, the natural peak of cortisol levels.
Oh, you're hacking your hormones.
Well, I mean, that's one way to put it. That's one way to put it.
So not the first thing when you wake up. For my millennials over there in college, not to get up because the shower should do that, hopefully.
And the med students out there too, right?
But so that's good. So it's late in the morning.
Maybe late in the morning, yes. Okay. And maybe try a little espresso because espresso, believe it or not, and I didn't know this, but a cup of espresso has about 20 milligrams less of caffeine than a cup of coffee. I actually always thought it had more. So that's one way to kind of cut back just a little bit. Not so bad. Not so bad.
Second, you got to hack to get out of the regular.
Yes. Okay. So those who are like, I just have to have my coffee. Well, okay, have your coffee. Go with 3/4 cup of regular. We're going to start with 3/4 of the regular, and then and then 1/4 of the decaf. So let me do mine first.
And I guess over time you just titrate that down.
Yeah.
Like you start with 3/4.
Yeah. So what's this? About 3/4.
Yeah. I'll put a quarter in there. And that's your cup of coffee.
Yeah, and it shouldn't taste any different, and you'll get used to it and just keep titrating it down, as you mentioned, over time. So this is a way to get less caffeine in your system and not,
I think one of the biggest issues is the ritual around
Yes.
coffee. And that's why I showed those pictures in the very beginning. That just reminds you of being around folks and having a good time.
It's social.
But we can change that ritual
We
the way they do
can.
it in other parts of the world.
We can, absolutely. Okay, so here's some tea and also hot water with lemon. And this is what I say, you can still have a cup of coffee in the morning if you so choose, but maybe those second or third cups, you can still take that coffee break at work and be with your friends, but maybe switch to green tea, which has less caffeine, or hot water with lemon. So those are some really good options. I'm a tea drinker myself, actually, so this is where I stay.
Very
This is something I
actionable,
stay.
very accessible.
Yeah.
Try one of these guys and certainly figure out, connect the dots. You can find a full 7-day caffeine detox on DrOz.com. That's Carl. Thank you as always. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss out on new videos to live the good life.